Mimos, I got a funny story to tell you. Well, it's not that funny, but it's a story. Yesterday, in the comments of my video, Gardwood asked if I could show my truck because it was in the video, and a lot of people ask me, every time that truck is in a video, people ask me about that truck, and it's almost 40 years old now. And I said, sure, I'll do that. I'll do that today on Mere Minutes. I thought this morning I was gonna shoot Mere Minutes, and I thought, you know, I should probably clean the truck because it was really dirty, because it was still caked with mud from back in January when I went up to the dump. Remember, I was getting rid of all that stuff. I think I'm a reverse hoarder. I want to just get rid of things. So when we went to the dump, it was right after Stormageddon. Remember Stormageddon? And there was mud everywhere at the dump. I mean, I was like just driving through just blah, 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 like that. I started cleaning the truck and I got underneath there and I'm like, whoa, big huge clumps were just falling down all over the driveway. And so then I thought, well, this is gonna be a major thing. So I spent like an hour and a half just cleaning underneath the truck and getting all the mud off of there. And the truck looks really clean, but as I was cleaning it, somehow water got, I guess, in the engine. See, I don't know anything about cars really, sort of, not really. And it stopped working. So then I went to turn it on and it just went. But the radio and everything worked, so I figured, well, the battery is probably okay. So I tried jumping it with the other car. That didn't help. And then I thought, well, the battery is old. Maybe I'm just, you know, I'll get a new battery anyway. So at least I can rule that out. And there's mosquitoes in here. So I got the new battery, I put it in, and still doesn't do anything. So I don't know what's wrong with it. So I'm planning on taking it to my car guy, repair guy, Monday. I'll have to have it towed. AAA will tow it over there for me. So anyways, that was the story, the not so funny story about my truck. So really, I blame Gardwood for this. I wanted to remind her, there's a lot of people who, when they post a comment, they may ask a question, but they have their settings set to where I can't reply to it. And I'm not sure where that is. You have to go into your YouTube settings or your Google Plus settings or somewhere, and you can switch that, change it somehow. But just to remind her, because I think a lot of people don't know that that's the case, and I'm afraid they think I'm ignoring them. So I had two projects this week, as you may well know. I had the Mere Mini. People get confused when I do a Mere Mini because I post it on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and they think, wait, where's the regular project? So it was just a short project, and it was the rustic thing. The funny thing about rustic projects is that it really generates controversy, because people who don't like the rustic look are really vocal about that. I guess that's probably true with all art forms. There's always people who like different styles, but there's something about the rustic style that really gets people to tell you about it. They say, I wouldn't have that in my house. I'm not a huge fan of, say, green and green style. But I certainly wouldn't post, well, I wouldn't have that in my house, because what does that mean? Who cares? But as with all of my projects, the whole idea behind the project is that you can make it however you want. Just because I used pallet wood and make it look rustic doesn't mean you can't use bubinga if that's your thing. And if you just like to say bubinga. And then yesterday's video was I've already forgotten what yesterday's video was. Oh God, the crates. Isn't that weird? I totally blanked on what the project was I did yesterday. The most common question I got about the crates was, why didn't I use the inkjet photo transfer on those? And I was going to do that initially, but as I got to thinking about it, I thought, well, I kind of want them to look more like a real fruit crate, which would have a paper label attached to them. And I did a test on one of them with the inkjet photo transfer, and it looked too faded out. So I thought I would just try something a little different. Okay, let's go take a look at the truck. In spite of the fact that it's not working, it's usually a pretty reliable truck. And it's clean. Look how clean it is now. This is a 1976 Ford F-150. I am the second owner because the first owner was my dad. He bought it new in 1976. In fact, I remember when he bought the truck. I was 10 years old at the time, and I just thought it was so cool because as kids, we could ride in the back of it. Back then, you know, you could just let your kids flop around however much they wanted. It's got 2 gas tanks, and the body of the truck is actually in really good shape except for right around the wheel well here on both sides. It's rusted out. And this white stripe, I don't even think that's painted on. I think it's like a vinyl strip or something, but it's all got cracks in it. I really like having this tool storage box. I picked this up at a garage sale several years ago. I have to have a bungee cord there because this lid, if I'm on the freeway, the lid will just fly open. So that kind of keeps it closed. I don't have a key for the lock, but it doesn't really matter. The lock itself is probably, just seeing that will keep people out of it. And I don't really keep anything in there anybody would want to steal. I've got some oil and I've got bungee cords. I love having bungee cords. A big rope. It's always good to have a big rope, even though I've never ever had a use for it. The seat on the inside is kind of rough. It's got a lot of rips and holes. It'd be nice to get that reupholstered. And I've got my shopping bags in there. The one thing I always like to point out about this truck is that it has 122,000 original miles on it. Here you can see the odometer. They used to have a tenths place on there, so there's 122,797 miles. Most people don't believe me when I show them that, and they think that it's rolled over several times. Needless to say, my dad didn't drive that truck a lot. He bought that truck because he was a hot air balloon pilot, and it was just used as a chase vehicle, in other words, and that's why he put the sunroof in there. When a hot air balloon flies and you don't really know where it's going to land, I guess, but you have to have somebody chasing it, and then they could look up through the sunroof and they could follow it, and then they would put the hot air balloon in the back of the truck and take it from place to place. For those of you guys who are into engines, it's a 390 engine, and I think I get about 10 miles to the gallon on it, but I don't drive it that much. Really, I just drive it to pick up lumber. What I'd really like to do, I think would be fun, is to just get the rusty spots fixed and have the whole truck repainted. That would be cool. Another thing that's hard is finding a mechanic who can work on that, because it's got a carburetor and a lot of older stuff in there. But if any of you are in the Bay Area and are a mechanic who would be willing to work on that truck, I would love to talk to you. And also, if any of you do body work in the Bay Area, I'd love to, maybe get an estimate from you on that too. I think it would be fun to really restore that truck. That's all I got for this week, guys. And thanks, Ricky, for your suggestion to show off the truck. That was kind of fun. I'll talk to you guys next week.